Hello and welcome to the Knowledge Center stage here at Itron Utility Week. My name is Adam Malik and I'm joined now by Vikas Butaney, who is the VP of IoT Product Management at Cisco. Welcome.
Thank you. It's great to be here.
And just to kick us off, so we go straight into it, there is a lot of commentary and a lot of pain coming the way of utilities in the sense that energy generation is going to be distributed. We will have a very active edge in terms of energy generation.
Yes.
And last year in an interview with Cisco, you were talking about, well, not you, but the person I interviewed was talking about the advances in IoT and how that works a little bit as well. So can you just give us an update about, where you are? Because last year that felt like a very theoretical answer as opposed to something sunk in reality and concrete execution.
Sure. Yeah, I think the industry has a tendency to talk about IoT in this, it's all about white puffy clouds and broader conversations, but we've been seeing tremendous progress in the utility market around the topics that you're talking about. We've been working with customers that have been testing out this technology using distributed automation use cases, where we are putting out intelligence at the edge of the network, where we are running simple calculations and algorithms at the edge of the network, monitoring the real-time data, real-time usage of what's happening, and then kind of creating capabilities for customers and partners to use that information to make real-time decisions. So compared to 12 months ago, this year we have seen some actual customer pilots. Customers where, I come from the state of California, where we have a lot of local distributed energy, where customers are testing and validating that technology. So, even in the past of last 12 months, we have seen dramatic progress and progression of capability set, the technology, and the usability to make it happen.
And what pain are they trying to solve? Is it just a resolution pain, or I want to see more what's going on? Or are we really starting to execute what I call that edge shifting, right? So that, the load gets balanced at the edge as opposed to, at the center.
Yeah, I think there are a couple of things. First of all, today, when the customers that we are talking to don't necessarily have a way to backhaul all of that information. There isn't a connected tissue between what's happening at the edge and the control systems. So what we are working with these customers on is getting a near real-time measurement. So now they're measuring the workload, once a minute and on a pretty regular basis. And now once they have this data at the edge of the network, they can use new technologies like machine learning and capabilities where they can develop models over years and then know how the system should behave. What this allows them to do is rather than backhauling all of the data, do anomaly detection very much at the edge of the network. And so Cisco is at the forefront of this capability by pushing our edge compute capability to distributed automation, where we are connected to cap-bank controllers and these assets in the field. We are providing an open platform where sometimes we might create a set of logic, but the ecosystem and our partners can definitely jump in and create their own set of capabilities and then deploy it in a more distributed fashion to enable this IoT edge.
So in terms of AI and pushing that decision making to the edge, are you saying that your infrastructure enables other people to work on it, or are you actually providing that AI capability that other people plug in on?
Yes. So I think it's a combination of both, right? Because some of these early stage technologies, the answers aren't always no, right? So we have been working with some of our leading edge customers where we are providing them the platform to run the machine learning capability. And the machine learning is a more foundational capability, which allows us to model what's happening out there in the assets. And then over time, we'll be able to kind of take that and open that up, right? So Cisco is innovating and creating that capability, but what we really want is the ecosystem, and with all of the domain expertise with a show like this, who can come in and build on our platform for themselves. So we have open container-based capabilities very much at the edge of the network.
And that is a key part of creating an ecosystem, is about these open standards and putting that out. How do you see that evolving? Because again, these are my words, not yours, but in this industry, ever since I started commentating on it, it loves a standard for all sorts of use cases.
Sure.
I know that 5 years ago there were probably 8 or 9 different standards around meters, but now it's more IP centric. what's the evolution of the standard and where is that going?
Sure. For many of our customers, Cisco, ever since our genesis of the company, we believed in open standards, and we have driven that through the use of IP technologies, which started in a campus or in a branch office, but now it's used. On our smartphones, all devices are open standards based. From a utility and the metering industry, we champion the use of IPv6, which is now with the YSUN standard is going to be standardized, ratified. I know this week we have some exciting news on that topic. So from a company point of view, we have embraced and driven standards at all levels of the architecture, all the way from the network layer to the YSUN layer to the security layer, and now into the edge compute layer. All of our products support open standards-based containers. They're called Alexi containers, and you're going to see us move that to even more standards-based technologies and then use open APIs by which not just Cisco, but the ecosystem can develop the capabilities, but we will help our customers orchestrate and deploy these workloads all the way at the edge of the network using our products like the connected grid router, using our industrial router portfolio. All of these products are ready today to be able to deploy this intelligent edge capability.
So what I'm hearing from you is that IPv6 has become the de facto standard. It's where everything's going to go.
Absolutely. I think we have customers that have millions and millions of meters deployed today that are running IPv6 at the meter, and we are backhauling that capability while making sure security is top of mind, right? Making sure that the certificates in the devices, the data transport, all of them are using highly capable security capability. But IPv6 today is the standard, and that's where many of our customers are putting the requirement in the RFPs and asking the ecosystem to support it using IPv6, YSUN, and standards-based capabilities.
And when that comes into it, and it's again one of the things that I've written about in the past, is like as we start moving all this compute to the edge, we start making more and more decisions at the edge. We put more and more intelligent entities at the edge. It's no longer a sensor that just polls, it can be programmed. Where are we going in terms of security around critical infrastructure? Who owns that? Does Cisco own that? Does the utility own that? Who guarantees that the devices are safe? Well, not safe, but you know what I mean.
Yes. Yeah, I think security is a very broad topic. I don't know if there's one person that can own it. All of us have our responsibility in it. The meter and the device makers have to make sure that they are building the product with security built in, right? With the use of certificates, with secure boot capabilities. That is a capability that needs to be designed into the meter themselves or the sensor themselves. We, from a communications point of view, we need to be able to make sure that we can activate that product and make sure that the backhaul, the device, and the network itself, everything is secure at every layer of the architecture. Clearly, this is an area where our customers also have to make sure they have the right training and the skill set, right? As we connect more of these assets operationally, there needs to be a level of competence in our customers to make sure they're building that capability up as well. So the whole ecosystem, all the way from a device maker to the communication system to the management automation system and the people who are operating the networks, all have to be security aware and be able to take that into their day-to-day practices.
Do you think that gets easier when you get towards a more homogeneous IP-based topology? Because I talk to some of my industry contacts and they're saying, look, Adam, we're still running TDM systems on our networks, right?
Sure.
And when you have a lot of different protocols, it becomes harder to manage. Do you think there needs to be more of a concerted effort to have that homogenized topology?
Absolutely. I think, look, in these critical infrastructure industries, things have a tendency to live forever. Where in the past we thought, you'll get security by obscurity or by not connecting the things. That's no longer possible in this digital world we live in. But as we converge onto more, modern, new technologies, you don't have the technical debt and the exposure and the vulnerabilities that customers have. They need to move to more common technology, more modern technologies, and clearly IPv6, YSUN, and the security capabilities that we are deploying in these new architectures are just as good, if not better, than any other financial, banking, and the defense systems that are deployed on a global basis. So absolutely, the moving to more contemporary systems will reduce the security vulnerabilities, and you have thousands and thousands of engineers who are keeping that code current, such that even if a vulnerability is found, it'll get patched. Compared to the legacy systems, it's not quite clear where that expertise might or might not reside.
And do you think that, just as we're coming to the end of this interview, that and I don't mean to single out anybody, but the utility industry needs to change its relationship with technology? Because in the past, it feels to me like, and I'll use my words, that an engineering relationship is not an IT relationship, and the way IT adopts things. You know, in an engineering world, you want something that's going to last 20 years, whereas in an IT world, like you said, it's more of a continuous evolutionary thing. Are you starting to see that? Do you think that needs to happen a bit more?
Yeah, I mean, I think, being Cisco with our heritage of coming from the IT world, we definitely see there are some great best practices that are used there, but clearly the critical infrastructure requires a level of engineering and discipline and deployments that is also very specific to this industry. The right answer is picking the best of both the environments, right? Using some of the agility and the capabilities that the IT industry has, and then marrying up with the operational capabilities and using more contemporary model where we're going, right?
So is that tension real?
Absolutely. I mean, I work with customers not just in utilities, we work with them in transportation, in manufacturing, in automotive, in all of the other industries. This is a shared topic, right? That with the aging workforce and kind of what's happening across these industries where there's deep domain knowledge in a given set of people, but the workforce is changing. Two, more modern technologies are coming up. And so we work with our customers and our partners to talk about IT-OT convergence. It's not like replacement or one or the other. Both skill sets are critically important, and the right answer is, especially with securities being top of mind, that IT and operations need to work together to address the needs of the businesses. Otherwise, there's going to be vulnerabilities and challenges in the outcome that the customers are trying to drive.
Because on that note, I think it's a perfect place to leave it. I feel like if we carried on, we'd take another 10 minutes, and we don't have time for that. Maybe another time, I hope. Thank you very much for watching this interview at the Knowledge Center here at Itron Utility Week 2018. We hope you enjoyed it. Thanks again.